So I grew up in a time where a lot of things with respect to gender bias was present. No? Kasi I remember um, my grandfather telling my aunts, babae naman kayo, mag-teaching na lang kayo kasi mag-aasawa lang naman kayo. So sure enough, my aunts and even my mother ended up being teachers. And even when I was in school, the girls were always considered as last resort when it came to selecting contestants for science and math competitions. Kasi there's this notion that girls can't do math and that science is a man's domain. Yun ang, yun ang thinking no, during my time. Uh, Even when I already graduated in college and started working, I encountered similar biases because I am female. For example, at work, there were very few leadership positions. No? The I remember the pay wasn't that great at all, and well, there was also alam mo na sexual harassment from colleagues. So, in short, most of us women felt trapped in jobs with very minimal opportunities for promotion and salaries. No? So, um, while working as a graduate student, there were also these similar incidents that I had to overcome with, for example, male colleagues being given preferences in terms of attending conferences or access to grants, yung mga ganon. So it was, as a junior scientist at the time, it was really a struggle to overcome all these challenges and be able to make a name for myself and have my work recognized.
So I think I come from a different generation where actually I never felt any barrier in relation to my gender. No, parang if there was if there were barriers, it was just the standard barriers that any scientist will encounter, no, as they go through the different stages of their academic and research life. I'd like to believe that the barrier is really internal, no, the limit that you put, no, that prevents you from progressing, no. So it's more of an internal barrier than an external barrier. um I think I'm very fortunate that during my generation gender was not an issue anymore. In fact, uh, it was more of promoting the need for more women in science, no? So it was very encouraging for us to continue our work and encourage more women to join us, no? My field is in computer science. Way back in the 80s, yun yung kulang, no? Kulang ng women computer scientists, no? But I came from a high school that really promoted women empowerment, no? So parang push lang yan, go lang yan. And so uh, and when I was in Ateneo, building my career, uh, and looking for grants, I think parang wala namang naging issue, no, in relation to gender. So very fortunate ako dun sa aspect na yun.
Well, I'm very fortunate that I am with Ateneo, in fact. No? So, and we've seen the many changes that have happened. I joined Ateneo in 1995. So I saw the different changes that happened from being one college to several schools, which we now know as Loyola schools. And from that time that I started, I've seen the many changes with respect to um, promotion of women to leadership positions, engagements in research, allocation of grants, incentives, promotion, and so on. And more recently, the gender office that we have established is also a welcome development. So I think because of its Catholic and Ignatian formation or nature, those or the members of the Ateneo community have been very blessed to be associated and to be part of such a caring and nurturing community. Because I am female, I did not feel any differences in treatment as far as my association with the university is concerned. I've been promoted to positions of leadership and authority, and been and had been given the necessary support all these years. And this is the reason why I'm really thankful.
Setting aside the gender, some of the struggles of scientists would be the multiple roles, no, multiple hats that we wear, no. So how we wish, no, na sana focus lang kami dun sa science, but the reality is we cannot, no. So I was talking to Ma'am Len earlier na if you are also the project leader, no, you have to worry more about the leadership side rather than just the science side, meaning all the admin stuff, no. And as a mother of two, and my husband is also a humanitarian, so medyo you have to balance all those things, no. I'm not saying that men do not go through the same thing, no. So those are the struggles. So that's one, wearing multiple hats, no. And then second would be on the science side, when you think you've solved the problem and then you realize that when they use it, it doesn't even solve half, no, of what they need, no. So those are the two things that are really a struggle for scientists, no. The university has really been a haven, no. You just have to ask, no, because they cannot monitor naman everything. But and then it's not all the time that they give it to you right away, no. Sometimes you have to wait, no. um but so what has happened was, if you build it, they will come, no. So that's another strategy, no. You build something, and if it is relevant, then the graces will come in, no. So yun yung isa sa mga opportunities sa university. There are a lot of resources, no. And there are a lot of models in the system that allow us to do the work that we do. A few years back, we were dreaming na sana may office na ganon, where you have research staff just doing research, no, to assist all the scientists. We started with one person, and then we saw the importance, and then the dean allowed, you opened an office, initially coming from grants, no, and then now we have our own initial funding, no. So yun, they listen to your needs, and you don't get it right away all the time, but it will come, no. When things go wrong, the university is there to help, no. So especially, for example, when we engaged with the pandemic, no, with assisting our government, the team was not used to intrigues, no, and criticisms, no. And so we really sought, no, the help of the university to assist us in handling certain issues which we didn't know how to answer, no, publicly. That was very good. And then there's also opportunity, no, that they promote the work that we do, no. So it's not just isolated in the lab, no. There's always opportunity to promote what we are doing. There's space, no, there's space in the different communications platform, no, that we have. You have opportunity to write about it, to post it, and so on and so forth. They hold conferences and seminars for you to talk about your work. Yeah, so I agree, no, the university has been very, very supportive, no, in all aspects, no, even
Well, I'm seeing a lot of more women go into the sciences, whereas during my time, you can count them with the fingers of your hands, no? How many women there are in the or there were in the engineering sciences or engineering fields, sorry, in even in the sciences, especially in physics, chemistry, ganyan. Uh, Times really have changed, no? And we see a lot of women going into all sorts of fields, no? From not just in science, but politics, law, diba? Medicine. Yeah, this is it's a welcome change, and I'm glad to see it happen during my lifetime because I've seen how it was in the past, and this changes in the role of women in society, not just in the home but in the whole society, is really a welcome change to what I've been used to and what I've been brought up uh, during my younger days.
It has to be purposive, no? It will not come if you don't build it, no? So, for example, in our lab, what we do is we open up our space for interns from uh, high schools that are all exclusive, no, for girls, no. So when they request for internship slots, we allow more of the women, no, the future women scientists in our labs, para to inspire them, no, to show them how we do things, no, because sometimes what they read about scientists in books are different, no, when they see us how we do things in the lab, no. So that's one. Second is exposure, no. So um, most of us are introverts, no, but we have no choice but to inspire people, no, and one way of inspiring people is to expose yourself, no, and talk about what you do. Um, my dream is to write a series of textbooks, no, on the methodologies that we are doing, because journals are not reachable by a lot of people, no, they're just within the science community, no. But if you want to reach out talaga and inspire young people to join you, then you should write textbooks that are, will be used, for example, in the high school, no, or in the grade school, mga ganyan. um and then maybe because right now the work that we do is we look for funding, and then we do the project, hopefully it gets adopted or it's converted to its commercial value, ganyan. um, is to look for how to create an endowment fund for the research centers, no, so that it reaches a point where there is parang reserve funds that are revolving na lang, no, para para tuloy-tuloy yung work, no, because I will not be here forever, and if yeah, so dapat matuloy yung work, no, even if I'm not here anymore, if I'm not the director anymore, no? So ganun din, it's not just the inspiring people, it's making sure that the system that you've set up, diba? The structure that you've set up will be stable over time, no,
Mhm.
para there is a future, no, for
Mhm.
our women scientists. Yeah.